We've had a pretty good look at regular expression syntax in this chapter. There is a lot more to learn in terms of extended regular expression syntax and the usage of regular expressions that will only become natural once you've used them a fair bit. But we've had a good look at the basics from which you can build your skills in regular expressions, both pattern matching and using regular expressions to replace. Now I've put together a couple of exercises which you're welcome to try if you like, and equally you can ignore them if you want to. One of the privileges of listening to a CD rather than having a real tutor who can badger you if you don't do your homework. The exercises are these. The first one is to put together a regular expression that makes a reasonable attempt at checking if an email is syntactically valid. There's two words in this sentence that I'd really like to stress. The first one is reasonable, and the second one is syntactically. The reason I say a reasonable attempt is that regular expressions have been built that attempt to be comprehensive at checking the different kinds of emails that are valid. These regular expressions are in fact whole systems or modules that take into account the wide variety of different possible email addresses and attempt to check each possible permutation and combination. I'm not expecting you to do this. All I'm asking with this exercise is to make a stab at putting together a pattern that can check if an email address fits the general description, the common sense description of what an email address should look like. It should have an @ sign in the middle, there should be a domain, and so on. The other word I'd like to stress is syntactically. There's no way you can test with a regular expression that an email exists or not. Short of sending an email off and seeing if it bounces, there's no real way that you can test that. So that's all we're testing here, just for the syntax, and only a basic check at that. The example that I've put on the examples folder on the CD is a pretty basic one, and I'll be the first to admit that it's not in any way comprehensive. If you can beat it, then by all means go ahead. The next example is to replace all instances of the numerals 0 to 9 in a string of text with their full word versions, 1, 2, and so on. I'm not asking you, again, to do the really complex version of this exercise, such as looking at the number 11 and turning that into 11 and so on, or to look at tens, hundreds, thousands. All we're looking at is the individual numbers on their own, finding instances of those within a string, and returning just the English equivalents.